Okay, guys, so I randomly stumbled across this case, and I am so excited that I did. Oh my God, did you just spill that?
Nope.
So excited that I did. Oh my God, she's so no.
It's on my hand.
Okay.
Not on anything else. Just a messy bartender.
That's good.
You good?
Yeah. Let's keep that.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, we'll wait for Erika to get back.
Go on.
Okay, so I randomly stumbled across this case, and I am so glad that I did, because I had heard about it, but I'd never really gotten the details. So I first heard about it when I was watching a really trashy reality TV series.
Please go ahead and say what it is.
Temptation Island. So for those of you that have watched it, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that have not, don't judge me, because it is addicting. Season 1 is amazing, but I had heard about this murder on that TV show, but they never go into any details of it and don't give any explanation.
That's true.
Yeah, but this case has everything from sex and drugs to rehab to murder. It's a crazy one. So before,
if only Rock of Love had murder, it'd have been the perfect TV series.
Yeah. So, but before we actually get into the case, my name's Natalie.
I'm Erika, and this is Drunken True Crime.
So for those of you that are coming back, thank you so much. We appreciate it. For those of you that are new, welcome to the shit show that is us. Basically, the premise of our show is that we are two best friends talking true crime over cocktails. So with that being said, we do have a few disclaimers. The first one is that we are talking about true crime, so sometimes there can be gruesome details. Number 2, we will be drinking each time.
Yes.
So we'll have a different cocktail.
Not a coloring true crime channel.
Yeah. So if that offends you in any way, you will not like this channel. The third one, are going to be ourselves on this channel, which means we will be cussing. The fourth one is that if you see us laughing or smiling or anything like that, that's not us making light of the situation or making fun of the victims. Most of the time, it's just us making fun of each other because we messed something up. So don't get offended by that. Again, this is just two best friends talking about a case.
Okay, last disclaimer here, folks. The information provided by us in this video is for educational purposes. All information in this video is provided in good faith. The views expressed are our own personal opinions, and the details we provide are all alleged, and individuals are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law.
But if you like true crime cocktails and hanging out with your best friend,
welcome!
Then, grab your cocktail and come drink with us as we go through this case. Cheers.
Cheers, bitch.
Cheers. So for those of you that have never watched Temptation Island, it's this really trashy but very addicting reality TV series.
As most are.
Yeah. So it's basically I think it's 4 different couples. They go to this island where they are separated, and the guy in the relationship moves into a house with 15 girls, and then the girl in the relationship moves into the house with 15 dudes, and I
would not like that.
No, God no. But they live in this house for a month, I think it is, but they go on dates.
Awful.
Yeah, they go on dates with this other one, and basically it's trying to prove are they really with the right person? Can they resist temptation, or should they just end their relationship because they're not meant to be?
So just because you're around a wang, you have to sleep with it?
Well, maybe you're with the wrong wang, and this will expose.
I'm talking about a dick.
I know you are. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you're with the wrong wang, and
you need a longer, more girthier wang.
Yeah, or maybe a more interesting, nicer wang. I mean, you never know. Whatever, but it exposes breaks in the relationship. I would say there's probably problems in your relationship if you go on the show, but again, no judgment,
That's true.
I'm the one watching
Or
it.
you're not even in a relationship, you're just making that up.
Yeah, but okay, these two were though. In season 1, there's this couple named Casey and Evan, and Casey is wanting the relationship to go to the next level. They've been together for 10 years, and she's wanting a ring. And Evan was wanting to prove to Casey that he wasn't his dad, because his dad did cheat on his mom several times. And so this story is about Evan's dad.
So Gavin Smith was born December 10th, 1954 in San Fernando Valley. He played basketball for UCLA, where he played underneath John Wooden. I don't know who he is.
Oh my God, he's like one of the best like college football,
Basketball
coaches like ever.
Oh, so he did have success there and was actually on the 1975 national championship team, as am I, but not 1975.
I was gonna say in 1975.
Not that old. I am on a national championship team. Go us.
Not
Not for basketball either. However, after his junior year, he decided to transfer to Hawaii for a season where he grabbed a record there, and that is still in place to this day. Now, that's something I don't have,
Yeah.
but I do have a ring. Yeah. After college, he tried to go out for the NBA, National Basketball Association draft, but unfortunately was not good enough and was not drafted. Sorry.
Was not good enough. Savage.
I mean, it's the truth. If you're not drafted, you're not good enough. That's just part of it. Once he accepted that his basketball career was actually over, which, by the way, it's very hard to do because, you know, you spend 20 to 30 years doing the same thing over and over, build your identity around it, that you're actually good at something, and then now you're just left with the remnants of you're not being able to do it, so you have to figure out your own identity. But that's not Erika's life. This is actually Gavin's. Anyways, so after he was not drafted because he wasn't good enough, Gavin actually took a trip for...
You're making fun of the victim. This is why people hate us. This is you making fun of the victim.
Well, he wasn't good enough for the draft. It's not like I'm not saying he's good enough for life. He's not good enough for the draft. And Gavin actually took a trip for 5 to 6 days in the mountains by himself to figure out what he's going to do next with his life. He needed some serenity, some peace. He needed to figure out who his identity is without this basketball shit.
What was you doing?
After taking some self-reflection, Gavin decided he wanted to take a stab at acting because, you know, going from basketball to acting is a great decision.
Why are you making fun of this victim so bad?
I'm not making fun of him.
Yes, you are.
I'm narrating this.
You are fucking making fun of him.
No. I just don't understand how you go from basketball and be like, you know what I'd be? I'd be a great actor.
He's in LA. That's why, I think.
Because everybody's such great at acting in LA.
I'm just surrounded by it.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I could see that. You want to take a stab at acting. He's very handsome, had blonde hair, the whitest teeth, and muscles for days from all those basketball, you know, days and everything. He said, why not? Let's go acting.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay.
I'm not making fun of him.
You are making fun of him.
How?
You're just saying he's like, oh, well, he wasn't good enough, but he's like gonna get, you said that twice, and then you were like,
Well, I mean, obviously you're not good enough if you're not drafted.
anyways.
Just
okay.
like I wasn't good enough to make the Olympic team, but I'm not being a bitch about it.
Neither is he.
Just what my script said. I'll read off the script.
Okay. So we're gonna get through this.
I'll shut my mouth.
No, not what I'm saying. Fuck off. Okay. So he did actually secure some small roles as an actor, but it never really took off. So he then decided, hey, I'm going to try.
Good enough.
Okay, we got to get through this. I feel like this is going to take us 3 hours, and
No.
I am not making fun of the victim. So
Neither am I. It's a statement. It's factual because did he make it to the draft? Did he make it in the NBA? Why didn't he make it? Why didn't he make it, Natalie? Was he in the NBA? Is he George Clooney now?
I feel like I drink to deal with you.
I drink to deal with you.
Okay, so Gavin did actually secure a few roles as an actor, but it never really took off. So then he decided, hey, I'm going to try my hand at becoming a stuntman. And he was actually good at this. What?
Nothing.
What? Go make fun of him.
I'm not making fun
Go
of
make
him.
fun. I know you were about to.
As
Go.
one does.
Okay. Well, we will get through this one sentence. Okay. He was actually pretty good at this. However, his career did have to come to an end because he broke his back on the set of Remington Steel while he was working as a stuntman.
Probably doing those flips.
Yeah. I don't know how he did it, but he broke his back. So after coming to the realization that he wasn't going to make it as an actor and he had to, he couldn't be a stuntman anymore. He decided that he was actually going to go work behind the camera, and he joined the team at 20th Century Fox. He started from the bottom. He worked at the distribution department. So basically his role is he had to make sure that the movies that were going to theaters actually arrived to whatever theater that they were supposed to play at, and that they arrived on time.
Okay.
So the same drive that made him have success in his basketball career in college actually made him have a ton of success at 20th Century Fox. It's actually reported that someone told Gavin, you don't know much. And he responded to them. He's like, yeah, you're right. I might not, but in 6 months, I'm going to know more than you, which I think is fucking hilarious. So I'm here for it.
Very, very confident.
Yeah. Well, and he wasn't wrong because he did. So he moved up quite quickly through the ranks of 20th Century Fox.
Just going back just a bit, in January 1989, when he was a struggling actor, he was waiting tables on the side, and to help make ends meet, were serving tables. He met a girl named Lisa, and according to family members, they had that like instant connection. Like they lock eyes across the room, and they're like, "Woo!" that sort of thing. Not too long after that, the two got married, and they wanted to start having kids right away.
And they did.
They did. The couple would end up having 3 very handsome boys named Evan, Dylan, and Austin. So from the outside looking in, it looked like a perfect family. And what do we say around here, Natalie and Erika? There is no such thing as a perfect family. There's not. In reality, this perfect family was actually struggling financially, maritally, and with substance abuse issues. So we're going to dig in a little bit deeper about all of these issues. We'll start with the financial issues. So even though Gavin made a decent amount of money at 20th Century Fox, reaching about $180K a year.
Nice.
Can I work in
20th Century Fox? I know, right?
He was spending money faster than he was bringing in, which is a big no-no for all you cats and kittens out there.
So don't do that, okay?
Big no-no. The first big issue was that they bought their house from the housing market.
Whoa, you are slurring your words. Slower.
The first big issue was that they bought their house when the housing.
I think that's the problem.
The first big issue was that they bought their house when the housing market was booming. Then when the market crashed in 2008. Yeah, 2008. When the market crashed in 2008, the market value of their home plummeted to less than the balance owed for the mortgage.
Yeah. So like,
fuck.
Yeah. And this happened to a lot of people during this time. So like this wasn't
just on them. I mean, this was pretty much every American in America.
Well, not everyone, but like it hit a lot of people.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I remember that because me and you had just went to college, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I going to college?
Like, man,
why?
I could buy a house now.
Yeah.
But
if that wasn't stressful enough, Lisa, who was an accountant before she decided to be a stay-at-home mother, was going through their tax papers and discovered that Gavin had taken money from his pension and also spent all his year-end bonuses.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a fun conversation between the two of them.
Well, I bet she was like, where the fuck's all the money going, Gavin?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is the money going? That's what I would say.
Yep.
It's unclear exactly where the money went, but I have a guess.
Yeah.
Remember when he broke his back acting as a stunt double?
Oh yeah, being a stuntman.
When he was working as a stuntman, he was prescribed opioids to help deal with his back pain.
Yeah.
To get him through filming and everything. And just like many pills like that, they're very dangerously addictive.
Yeah.
Highly addictive.
Yeah.
That's why we have the opioid crisis in New England at the moment.
Everywhere. It's not just New England.
That's true, everywhere. But everywhere. Gavin allegedly became addicted to these pain pills. So this is not confirmed. It's just my personal opinion, and it would not surprise me if he was spending most of his money on these pills.
Yeah.
They're highly expensive and they're highly addictive.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't like taking pills.
Did any of that make sense?
I think so. We're a little slurry, but you know. Okay, so the first little bit of this video is...
I'm not taking this off is because it has Nala on it.
Oh,
and I really want to wear it for our Nala ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Dude.
No! You had that on your sweatshirt the whole time.
Fucking A, man.
Oh my god, and we're about to have to like do like a, oh Lord.
We're about to have to do what?
You'll see when I do it.
Are you gonna lick my chest or something?
No. What? Why was that even the first thing?
I don't know. You're not telling me what's gonna happen.
Oh, I've got to do like a, yeah, okay.
I don't think it's that noticeable.
No, I don't think so either. So,
pretty bad though.
So if the first part of this video, the sound is a little bit off, it's because we forgot to plug in the microphone. So we're sorry and we fixed it now.
Yes.
So just hang in there with us. It's not that much of
Erika
it.
wasn't slurring her words. It was the mic.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Erika at all.
Totally the mic.
Yeah. Okay.
She doesn't have a problem. She's fine.
Yeah, so eventually this addiction of Gavin's had become such a problem that in March of 2008, he actually checked himself into a rehab facility. Now, this decision would be a defining moment in Gavin's life, but not for the reasons that you think it would be. This is where he would meet a woman named Sandrika Cade and develop a relationship that would ultimately lead to his death.
Oh, fuck.
Like an alfalfa. Sprout going on there. Okay, so we're gonna take a little bit of a pause in the story to talk about Sandrika. So Sandrika was at Matrix Rehab Facility trying to kick an alcohol abuse addiction. Now, this is where she would meet Gavin and they would start up their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
However, not only was Gavin married to Lisa for 18 years,
right,
but Sandrika was also married, and she was married to a convicted drug dealer named John Creech.
The name just sounds intimidating.
Yeah. So now, to your point, John Creech is a very scary guy. Not only did he have 2 prior drug convictions against him, but this dude had a really, really bad temper, and he was stacked. So he would not only go to the gym twice a day, but it was also allegedly, so as reported, but allegedly he was also on steroids.
So his balls are shrunk.
Maybe, yeah, probably if he was.
Steroids.
Yeah, if he was actually on steroids, probably.
That's what my exes looked like.
Oh God. Here you go, YouTube. Basically, when it comes down to it, this is just a dude you did not want to fuck with. So what does Gavin do?
He fucks with him.
So Gavin and Sandrika, they start their romantic relationship or an affair. Let's call it spade a spade. It's a fucking affair. Is what they're doing. So not long after John Creech discovers, so remember, Sandrika's husband discovers this affair, he becomes extremely upset, which rightfully so when you find your wife cheating on you.
Yeah.
But according to Sandrika, he actually became quite violent with her. And she said in court testimony that, he got really rough with her, that he was just hustling and pushing her around and hitting her in the face. Rightfully so. He was mad. I mean, he should have never done any of that. But
no.
Yeah.
That's never warranted.
I feel like there's honestly not many good people in this story.
So why are you so worried?
Yeah. But
why are you so worried that I said
we're getting so much hate lately, I feel like.
Are we getting that much hate? I don't think so.
He texted me at 4 a.m. the other day.
That dude was an idiot. He's like, y'all are drinking. Like, yeah, our fucking channel's Drunken True Crime. Where was your first clue?
Not only did John get really upset with Sandrika and start pushing and hitting her around, but it's reported that he actually went to Gavin too and basically threatened him and was like, stay the fuck away from my wife.
I felt like any reasonable husband would.
Yeah, that part wasn't that weird to me. He didn't punch Gavin or anything. He just was like, dude, stay the hell away from my wife.
Yeah.
But this seemed to scare them enough that they did end their relationship for a little bit. Good. So again, John had already found out about the affair. And not long after, Lisa, so Gavin's wife.
Yeah, Gavin's wife.
Yeah,
yes.
had also found out about the affair. So she was, of course, really upset and hurt by this, but she really loved Gavin.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to still make this work.
It was like, what, 18 years?
Yeah, almost 18.
That's a long time.
I think it might have, like, at this point in the story, it was like 15 or something, or some 15. In totality, it would be 18. So a really long time. Well over a decade that they had been together. And so, again, Lisa really wanted to make this work. And so the couple started going to couples therapy. And honestly, they seemed to be doing much better overall. They were starting, like, they got back to, like, what brought them together originally.
Mhm.
And they found that love for each other again. However, 2 years later, so we're in 2010 at this point, John is going through Sandrika's emails. So obviously there's still a trust issue there, but he's going through her emails and he finds emails between Gavin and Sandrika again. So he started threatening Gavin at this point, like threatening his life. And he actually sent these emails to Lisa. So he sent them to Gavin's wife. So
savage.
I know. But Lisa confronts Gavin and was like, what the hell? Like, what in the world? And Gavin's like, okay, listen, like, this guy that sent these to you, though, like, he's threatening my life. He's a convicted drug dealer. Like, I'm
Don't
terrified.
look at the fact that I'm like still having an affair and talking to this woman.
But,
this
like,
guy's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Because of what I did.
Yeah. But, like, this scares Lisa enough. Like, of course she's hurt, of course. But, again, she loves Gavin. And this scares her enough that she takes 2 of her children and she's like, you know what? I am going to put this to bed once and for all. She grabs 2 of her children. So her oldest, Evan, what we've talked about, and then Austin. And she drives over to John's house. Like, yeah,
I'm not hating on her, but taking your kids.
Oh, no, I agree. So, like, 1, she's got some balls on her. I'll give her that. But 2, like, as a mother, I don't think I would do that.
I don't
like,
that wouldn't be my first decision.
Yeah, like, not here to pass judgment, but
it wouldn't be my first decision to take my kids to a known drug dealer's house.
Yeah, that's threatening your
husband's life. No,
yeah,
that wouldn't be my first kid. First decision.
But that's what she does.
To each their own. So the 2 boys beg John to spare their dad's life, which how fucking traumatic for these boys.
So traumatic.
Knowing that, like, you're begging someone to not kill your dad.
Yeah. And, like, these kids are, like, definitely old enough to where they're in high school and in 8th grade.
Oh, they're gonna remember.
They're absolutely.
So again, the boys are crying.
Yeah.
Just pleading for their dad so that they spare him. In a rare showing of humanity, John said that the boys had just saved their dad's life and that he promised not to bother their dad or any member of their family again as long as Gavin never contacts Sandrika or him again.
So, like, great news. Gavin is saved, and they can go back to being, like, one big happy family, right?
They can work on their issues, being back to normal.
Exactly. False. This did not happen. Although this did seem to work for a few years, Gavin, being the playboy that he is, just could not keep his willy in his pants. And that's where this story turns bad. Now we've got a leaf blower. It was a mower before, and now we have a leaf blower. They literally stopped while we were eating lunch, and then they started again.
Wonder if Gavin's balls are shrunken. Maybe that's why Sandrika wants Gavin more than John.
You're wondering if his aren't shrunken?
Yeah, because he doesn't do
Oh, because, I don't know, and that's why.
She's like, I need normal sized balls.
That's why she went for Gavin. Maybe.
She's like, oh, my husband's balls, they look like raisins now.
So in early 2012, Lisa actually discovered that Gavin was cheating on her again. He was cheating on her with another woman from the rehab facility.
God, Gavin!
I know.
Get your shit together!
I know.
And you were making fun of me because I said he wasn't good enough for basketball.
I'm just saying, yeah, he's not a great guy. But he didn't deserve to die for cheating.
I never said he deserved to die.
Yeah.
Me saying he's not good enough because he didn't make it to the draft, obviously, that's factual.
Yeah.
Did he make it? No.
So if that wasn't bad enough, Lisa also discovered that Gavin started up his relationship with Sandrika again.
So 2 women.
2 women. 3 if you count his wife. So homeboy is...
Does he work?
He's got 2 full-time jobs. One at 20th Century Fox and one just swindling women. Okay.
I mean, where's time with his kids? Where's time to do all these stunts?
I don't know, man.
Oh, he's not a stuntman anymore.
Yeah.
No, he moved up in the ranks.
Yeah,
You're right.
He's an executive now at 20th Century Fox. Okay, so so Lisa becomes completely irate, like rightfully so. She can't believe that Gavin is not only cheating on her again, but he's putting their family
at risk.
At risk, exactly, by talking to Sandrika again. And so she's finally like, okay, I love him so desperately still, but I have got to do something that's going to scare the shit out of him and like put him in his place, because we cannot keep going through this terrible cycle. And so she actually kicks him out of the house. And this is the first time she's ever done this.
Not a girl.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
I mean, he needed to wake up in some way.
Yeah, it was like
a
wake-up call.
Threatening his life wasn't enough.
No. So Gavin actually goes and he moves in with a coworker. But Gavin and Lisa, they do try to make this as normal for the kids as possible during this time. So they do still make it a priority to do things as a family, including a weekly family dinner that Gavin did not miss. Like, this was a huge priority for him and for Lisa as well. So fast forward to May 1st of 2012. Gavin texts Shandrika and like begs her to come meet up with him.
Why?
Yeah. He's kicked out of the house, but he's still having this affair. But whatever. So Shandrika tells her husband, John, that she's going out. And although Shandrika and John, they were on rocky terms and they had actually started like the process of getting divorced, they were still living together. Now, if this was just for financial reasons or not, it's kind of unclear, but they were still living together at this point. Shandrika tells John that she's leaving and he becomes upset because he is very controlling. And she was like, like, we're not together. You can't tell me what to do. You can't control me anymore. I'm a free woman. I'm going out. And he was like, well, I'm going to follow you. And she was like, whatever, dude. And like leaves. John does not follow her. But unbeknownst to Shandrika, John did have a way of tracing her cell phone. So, yeah, after she left.
Even if he doesn't follow her, he has minions. He's a drug dealer.
Yeah. Well, so he just had it on his phone because they had shared the same contract that he could track her. So after she so after she had been gone for a little bit, John tracks her phone. He then is like, oh hell no. He gets into Shandrika's grandmother's gold minivan.
But like, how does he know? Because it's not like Gavin's out of the house at this point. So like, how does he know it's Gavin?
I don't think that he does. I think he, just being really insecure, he thinks that she's going off with some man. I don't think he knows exactly at this point that it's Gavin.
Where did they meet?
In a parking lot.
Oh.
In a random parking lot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
nothing good happens there.
Yeah, and she's just sitting there. So he gets in, borrows, because they were living with Shandrika's grandmother at this point, borrows Shandrika's grandmother's gold minivan, speeds to, I know, I just had to put that in there for that reason exactly. Gets in this minivan and then like speeds over to this parking lot where Shandrika and Gavin were freaking getting down and dirty with it. So he like rolls up, he sees Gavin's Mercedes, and he sees Shandrika and Gavin like getting nasty
in the middle.
Yeah. So
in the throes of lust.
Oh, I like it. So now, according to Shandrika, John just like flies off the handle, like rips open the door and just starts like beating the shit out of Gavin. And Shandrika says that she's like begging him to stop and is like, you're gonna kill him, and she can't get John to stop whatsoever. And she finally screams like, you're gonna go to prison if you don't stop. At this point, he does stop, turns back at her and says, you're next if you don't stop.
Shit. Okay.
So this terrifies Shandrika. She jumps in the car, the minivan, and then she just leaves. She's like, I'm out of here. She, like, at this point, you would think that she would call the cops or something.
Right.
But no, she does not. She goes back to her grandmother's house, runs into the house, and locks the door behind her. And that's it. Doesn't call the cops. So after a little bit.
Well, if you said it's financial issues, I mean, her main financial thing is his drug dealing.
Yeah. So she doesn't want him to go to jail.
No, because that's
Yeah.
her only way to survive.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. Yeah.
Why would you call the cops if that's the only way of getting money?
Yeah, that's a really good point. So a little while later, I'll try that again. A little while later, John actually comes back to Chandrika's grandmother's house, and he is covered in blood, but he seems to have calmed down by this point. And so Chandrika does eventually let him back in, and he's like, listen, I'm not here to hurt you, but I need you to drive me back so that we can go take Gavin to the hospital because he's hurt pretty badly. Mm-hmm. And so Chandrika's still like pretty scared that he can fly off the handle at any point again.
Right.
Complies. She's like, okay, I'll take you. But she said she drove him to the parking lot, but couldn't stand to like go and see Gavin. So she just drops him off and leaves again.
At this point, it's Chandrika.
Yeah.
Sandrika.
Chandrika. Yeah. Chandrika.
Now, at this point, Chandrika is scared for her life as she complies with John and takes him back to the parking lot, but doesn't go in to check on Gavin. And she said she could barely bring herself to look at him because it would make her too sad to look at him. You put him in that situation.
Yeah, I'm like, come on.
Put him in that situation.
Yeah, like you.
Actually, you both did. You both put yourself in that situation. It's not on her. It's two to tango. You both did it.
That is very true. It was both of them. It was all three of them. All three of them involved. Like, it was Chandrika and Gavin.
John and Gavin.
Yeah, for doing it. And then John for beating the shit out of him.
Right.
Like,
so Chandrika leaves and John goes back over to Gavin's car. Now, Gavin is presumably dead at this point. So John starts to create this plan on how he's going to get away with this murder he just committed. I bet he watched How to Get Away with Murder.
Maybe
on ABC.
Yeah,
maybe took a few pointers. Wrote down like some how to do this.
Yeah, should have taken a few more.
Maybe he should have. So he calls up his friend called he called up his friend named George.
Jorge. Sorry, I didn't know how to spell it.
Jorge.
Yeah.
That's not how you spell it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how to spell it. We were in the depths of it. This is like 10 minutes before you're coming over.
That is not how you spell Jorge.
How do you spell Jorge? Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Oh.
Hey
how
Siri.
do you spell Jorge?
Jorge. I'm listening. Jorge.
Oh.
Yeah.
So George.
Yeah.
So he calls up his friend named Jorge. Jorge said that John seemed drunk and upset on the phone and that he wasn't really making any sense. But being the good friend that Jorge was, jail Jorge apparently, hide the bodies with. He agreed to let John come over so he could console him. Well, that's a really good friend, Jorge.
I know. See? Huh.
However, when John gets to Jorge's house, he looks completely disheveled and asks Jorge if he can store Gavin's Mercedes there. Which reminds you, Gavin's dead body is in that Mercedes.
Body is still in the Mercedes, yeah.
Yeah. George says no, or Jorge says no, and this makes John upset. So John calls his friend Stan and asks if he could store the car there at his house. Stan says yes. So George and Jorge drove over to Stan's house and put the Mercedes at Stan's house. Now, when they get to Stan's house, Stan starts looking into Gavin's car and sees a body. And it's like, what the fuck, bro? Now I'm an accomplice.
Yeah, he's like, what in the world did you just bring into my
What
house?
did you do?
Yeah.
Who is this person? And now I'm a fucking accomplice.
Yeah,
okay?
why did you involve me in this?
I didn't want to be in this. I wanted to go McDonald's, okay? And then watch some basketball after that, I guess. I remember Gavin in the day.
Is that sun like in your eyes?
No, it's
Okay.
fine.
Just making sure.
John tells Stan to stop looking in that car. Don't look in there. Don't look in there. That's a mannequin, as everybody
Because
says.
it's always a mannequin.
It's always a mannequin. That's a
It's
mannequin.
never a mannequin, guys. They're not just mannequins in the wild.
So at this point, no one's called the police. Not Chandrika, not Jorge, not Stan. Nobody calls the police. Why should they? Because I'm assuming, and this might be bad of me, but I'm assuming Jorge and Stan are part of like the drug dealer world.
So I'm not 100%,
or in that world at least.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how John knows Jorge, but he supposedly knows Stan from his gym.
So they know each other from the gym. Okay.
Yeah, so Stan and supposedly, I'm sure that he knows that he's also kind of a nefarious fucking dude, not the stop kicking off.
I'm sorry. But at this point it's like, no one's gonna call the police.
Yeah, like
why would they?
Because they just found a dead body in this dude's car. I'd be like, depending on who it was, like not just some friend from the gym, am I gonna help out with that?
Well, fuck no.
Yeah.
You have to have some dirt on someone to like be able to do that. I feel like you all have to be like in some sort of scenario where you're all gonna get fucking rat out.
I'd probably do it for you, depending on the situation.
Hide the body for me.
Yeah, I'd help.
It'd more than likely be Mark's. Let's be honest.
Statistically, yes.
It'd be
I
my
feel
husband's.
like this is about to be in your face. The sun. It's like on your chin now.
No, I'm just looking like I'm glowing.
I just don't want it to bother you.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Okay, there you go. That works.
So John does put Gavin's Mercedes in Stan's garage. Wipes everything down with some Windex. That's going to help everything. Because you need a clear...
This reminds me of my Big Fat Greek wedding, where the dad is like, does the Windex thing, like Windex fixes everything.
Windex fixes everything.
That's
it gets rid
exactly
of all DNA.
That's exactly what this made me
It
think
does
of.
not. It's not like Lysol, and it's not like Clorox where it gets rid of germs or anything. It just wipes away the smudges.
I think it's what he had. Desperate times, man. Desperate times.
That might be it.
Call for desperate measures.
Come on.
No, I agree.
And puts the car cover over the car. He tells Stan that he'll be back in a few hours for the car. Oh, okay, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
You just store a whole car, I don't know where the fuck it came from, with a dead body in it in my garage. But okay, you'll come back for it later. Yeah. How do I know you're not calling the fucking cops and be like, hey, there's a car with a dead body in it at this house? And Stan's the murderer. How do I know that's not happening?
I wonder if he threatened him. Like he threatened.
You'd have to. You'd have to have some sort of dirt on Stan and Jorge for Stan to actually want to. And for Jorge to like actually cover it up too. Yeah. Because Jorge was there.
Yep. There are a lot of bad people in this.
So like they all had to have some, like John had to have something on both of those.
Yeah.
Stan was not just a gym friend.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yep. Okay, so backing up just a little bit. Now, at this point, Gavin had not shown up to those coveted family dinners. Mm-hmm. And so this really makes Lisa nervous.
As it should, yeah.
Because he was very diligent about making sure he did not miss any of those. And so Lisa actually goes and reports Gavin missing. Now, the police don't take it that seriously at first because, one, like he's kind of known as a playboy. Two, it's his wife that just kicked him out of the house, like reporting this. And, they're thinking, well, he doesn't have to report to you anymore. Like maybe he's just holed up with his, girlfriend and he doesn't want to tell you. But Lisa's like, okay, whatever. I'm not having that. Like I'm going to start my own investigation. And then after a few days of Gavin missing, the two boys, so Evan and Austin, that went to John's house that we told you about earlier in the story, they actually go to police and tell the police about this interaction. So John becomes like a top suspect in this disappearance at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at this same time, Stan is getting really frustrated. So again, to your point, John told Stan
he'd be back in a few hours.
Exactly. A few hours pass, nothing. A few days pass.
No, bro.
Yeah.
No.
So then Stan calls John and was like, dude, get this fucking car out of my garage. Like,
why is it in my garage in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you were going to store like some equipment.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to store some like stuff that we talked about at the gym, bro. Yeah. Now you're storing a fucking dead body with a car?
Yeah.
No. That's a different level.
Exactly. So John rents a U-Haul and he goes to Stan's place and he takes the car and Gavin's body and then he takes the car, he puts it in this rental, like storage unit that he rented out. And he disposes of Gavin's body in the forest. Now, the investigation into Gavin's disappearance is not a quick one whatsoever. So, sun's coming in hot. So Gavin disappeared in May.
Can you do this with me?
Yeah,
okay,
I can.
Cool.
Okay,
Cool.
So Gavin disappeared, or we all know this to be true, was murdered in May. And his wife and his kids continue to press. And so eventually all these accomplices of John go and speak to the police, because the police are like honing in and like putting the pieces together. And so they make a plea deal with all these people that if they talk to the police, they'll get full immunity.
What?
Yes.
We can do that?
Yeah. So
the fact we can do that in this country is bullshit.
Yeah. So they actually lead them to Gavin's car in this storage unit that they had rented out. And so they find the car in February. Remember, this murder happened in May. They finally in February have this car.
Of the next year.
Yes. And so they get the car, they go through it, even though John had taken Windex to it.
Oh, that Windex works, but
his DNA was still found on the car.
Bless it.
So at this point, the police are like 100% certain that John was the one that did this, but they still didn't have a body. It was not until October of that year.
Following year,
So October of 2014 that they actually found the body, and two hikers stumbled across it in the forest. And they found the skull.
Yeah, they had to find bones.
They found the skull of Gavin Smith.
What the fuck?
Again, so this happened in May of 2012, and it wasn't until October.
2 years.
Yeah. It wasn't until October of 2014 that they found his body. But they were pretty sure that he had been declared dead May of...
Was it 2013?
No. So they had declared him dead May of 2014, and then they found his body in October of 2014. So, of course, the police, they go and they arrest John. And again, all of his accomplices get off free. But there is enough evidence between everything, between all these accomplices telling them what happened and all of their stories being the same. The boys testifying about...
Did they have like a little bit of protection put against them? Knowing John.
That I don't know. But yeah, so...
That's something I would ask for.
Yeah, they all testify against him. I mean, I think that they were just happy to be able to be free.
Yeah,
and not get arrested.
I mean, I understand that too, but like... Knowing everybody he knows, going to prison, I mean, he's still going to have his minions to look after him.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know how big of a drug dealer he was. He was just a convicted drug dealer. So, I don't know if he was a big one. But, so, this does go to trial. John does not deny killing him because he really can't. Like, there's so much evidence against him. But he tries to turn it around on Gavin and Chandrika, and ultimately his story just does not hold up. And the jury doesn't believe it either.
He was rage blackout. He beat the shit out of Gavin until he was presumably dead.
Yeah.
Then tried to hide the body at his bro's house. And one of the bros was just stupid enough to let him.
Yeah. And then disposed of it in the woods. Like, it was obvious to the jurors that John was lying and that he was responsible for this death and that it was not Chandrika. It was not whatever. So they saw right through him and he did get convicted of these crimes. And so I just feel like the story could have gone so differently.
Right.
Like if Chandrika and Gavin would have just stayed away from each other. Now, I'm not saying that because they cheated, they deserved, or Gavin deserved to die. Not saying that whatsoever. But it's just really sad that if they would have just maybe broken it off with their significant other, like their husband and wife or whatever, and just chilled for a little bit, that they could have eventually been together if that's what they wanted, and no one would have had to die.
Right.
Not that anyone should have died in this, but I don't know. It's just a really sad case. Now, just taking us back to Temptation Island. So again, I heard about this case on Temptation Island because Casey and Evan were dating during this period. And so Casey was there for him. And this really obviously was very traumatic for him.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I can only imagine. Like,
I
that's
mean, he
why
went
he
to
is.
his dad's murderer and plead for his life,
Yeah.
and still he ended up being murdered by that guy.
Yeah, like, it's just, I don't know, it's completely sad. But spoiler alert, so if you're in the middle of Temptation Island or want to watch it, skip past this part. But Evan does end up cheating on Casey, gets in bed with another girl, like literally on the show, gets in bed with another girl.
God, like father, like son.
Yeah, breaks up with Casey, gets engaged to another girl named Morgan. They are engaged for a little bit, but then Morgan and him break up. And this is, according to Morgan, saying that it was because he was a pathological liar and he lied about everything, which Casey also agrees or reports that he's a pathological liar. But ultimately, he struggled with the same affinity for cheating on women. Yeah, demons, as his father did. And so overall, this is just a really, really sad story, but it did catch my attention just from Temptation Island.
Right.
So I was very interested in hearing about it. Again, I feel so bad for these boys and for Lisa.
Yeah.
Like, she still was so desperately in love with Gavin and wanted it to work. Like, she feels some guilt for kicking him out, thinking that maybe this would have never happened.
Why?
It's not her fault. I think she's just, she feels really bad because she wanted to take a stand.
She had to stand up
and
for
then
herself.
He was murdered a few days after she did it, or, you know, I think, yeah.
Which is never on her. It's nothing's on her.
No, nothing's on her. This poor woman just wanted her husband back. And yeah, it's a really, really sad story in that sense. Like, there's a lot of villains. There's no winners. Like,
right.
It is sad. But with that being said, that is the case. Let us know what you guys think. Comment down below. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all the fun things. Show your girl some love. It's a free way to help us out. But with that being said, you know the drills, ladies and gentlemen.
Be a bitch and stay alive. Cheers.
So Chandrika tells John,
fuck you guys for thinking I'm a savage. It's the same thing. After 10 years, you wanted that ring girl.
Yeah. Got it.
Is he Ryan Phillippe?
I'm not talking this shit.
In reality, this perfect family is actually struggling financially, maritally. Yeah.
So from what they were struggling with financial, marital, and substance abuse issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
In reality, fuck them.